Hey guys, Kevin with another classic movie for you guys, and this movie reviewing is actually a very special movie, mainly because I had no interest in checking out this movie at all. I had no plans to watch this. I never thought I was going to watch this movie. I really didn't have much to say about this movie. However, as you guys know, today, Prince died. As you guys know, another musical legend has been taken from us, unfortunately, and it's very much a David Bowie situation where I never really knew his music. I've heard he's very talented, but since David Bowie died, I have listened to his music, and I do realize his talents and why he's recognized as such a legendary musician and such a one of the most um one of the best entertainers to live, basically. I've heard Prince is in that same boat, where he's a very entertaining presence, and everyone's a huge fan of Prince. I mean, Prince, you go on iTunes, like, all the Prince albums are, like, number one, number two right now, because obviously Prince died, and I figured it would only be fitting to honor his legacy, and to also get into his music, by reviewing the 1984 rock musical drama, Purple Rain, which, of course, is the movie that Prince made, that a lot of people say, I've heard mixed things about it. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, this is a terrible movie. I've heard some people say it's a really good movie. I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just wanted to check it out for myself. I didn't know if it was going to be good. I wanted to go into it. I wanted to see it. I wanted to honor Prince's legacy, and that's exactly what I'm going to do with this movie. And, honestly, after checking it out, now I did listen to the Purple Rain song before I watched the movie just to get a sense of what it was, and I'll talk about that song in when we get to the actual music. But I will say, I do not regret watching this movie because Purple Rain is a very messy movie, definitely. It is definitely a hard movie to review. Can't really call it a movie necessarily, but it is a very good, it really does showcase who Prince was. It's a very good way to, get to Prince as an artist, and I think overall is a very good crowning achievement for Prince. Now, let's get to the plot of Purple Rain, because this is a movie. It does have a plot. Well, I'll get into why it isn't necessarily your regularly structured movie, because basically this movie, it's loosely based on Prince's life. The only difference that he's not playing Prince, he's playing this artist called The Kid, and The Kid is this very talented, frontman of this band called The Revolution, and he wants to basically really make it big, and he has a lot of trouble going on at home. His mother is very emotionally abusive, his father physically abuses him, and he himself is starting to get this inner rage within him, and basically he wants to make it big. It's kind of his road to stardom, and kind of the things that go on within his life. He's got this girlfriend who basically, she wants to do this side thing with this guy that wants to work with her. There's a lot of things going on in his life, and it's kind of just a night seeing him, his road to stardom, the goings on in his life, basically, and that basically is the plot of Purple Rain. This isn't exactly the easiest movie to sum up really what's going on. I'll totally get into why. Now, my biggest thing with this movie is the acting. Let's talk about the acting first, because that's really the main thing why I'm gonna say it right now. This is a movie that has a story, but they don't really focus on it. But it doesn't really bother me, mainly because of the acting. Why? Because most of these actors can't really act, honestly. I mean, I don't really have a problem with that, because they all really did try, and a lot of the material is based on real life. And I will say that Prince isn't a terrible actor, but he's not really an actor. He definitely is more of a singer and a performer, and he's very theatrical and things like that. He's not really an actor. He's very monotone throughout the movie. He's very awkward in some scenes, and a lot of his line delivery especially just doesn't really work. I mean, you can tell that he really did try to make this a movie, but him as an actor, he's just not an actor. That's really my thing. Prince is not an actor. And again, like, you see his talent, you see how much he worked hard in it, and that really is why it wasn't a complete failure. I think he did a very good job of what he had. He just isn't really much of an actor. But I will say, in some of the smaller moments, he does a fantastic job. And you really feel this inner rage within him. Like, he's kind of, not really inner rage, but more of him kind of scared to become his father, but kind of is becoming his father. I mean, it's a very interesting way they do that. I thought that was very interesting with some of the things that he did. I thought overall he did a good job. Obviously, he's very entertaining in his musical performances, but as an actor, he's just not an actor, so you can't really sum up Prince. But, however, I did not think he was as bad as Apollina Cotero. Oh my god, she was terrible, honestly. She was awful, I'm not gonna lie. She was awful in this movie. She could not act for her life. I mean, all of her line delivery is probably much flatter than Prince's. And I understand, again, that she was Prince's girlfriend at the time of this movie. And these two do have good chemistry. But, again, they're dating in real life, so it doesn't really matter. But I did think that she was pretty terrible. And the thing is, we follow this character, but you don't really care about her. her. She's more of just this singer trying to make it big that is Prince's girlfriend, that is the kid's girlfriend, everything. And I think she did a good job. You know, I don't think she did a bad job by any means. I think she definitely tried. Again, she's just not an actor, and she's pretty bad, definitely. She's definitely not a very good actor. She's more like high school play. Like, you see a high school play, it's kind of mediocre. That's what she was to me. She was nothing really that great, nothing that amazing. Morris Day, I think, really is the only actually really good performance in this movie as Morris. I think he actually did a really good job. He has this really big personality. He's this really tough musical producer who, his comic is actually very interesting. Like, he wants the kid to basically do what he does and nothing else, but the kid doesn't really want to follow what Morris is telling him. He kind of wants to go into his own direction, and I think they did a really good job showing that. The relation between these two is very interesting. I definitely really enjoyed that. Two characters that don't really get much to do. Olga Carlitos, his mother, and Clarence Williams the third as his father. They just don't really have a lot to do in this movie. You hear about them, but you don't really see them a lot. They're okay. I don't really have a problem with them, but I think overall they were just kind of there, not really much to say about them. But again, it doesn't really matter that they didn't focus on the story. Me and I'll get into why. Let's get to the directing here, which is directed by Albert Magnoli. I don't know what else he's done. I don't really think he's done much of anything else. But he actually was the manager of Prince for a while, and that's why he did direct this movie, because he was the manager. And you definitely do see that the movie was made for one reason. The movie was made to show why Prince is this star and why Prince deserves to be one of the greats. I mean, the movie definitely does not deny that. Prince is one of the greats when it comes to entertainment. This movie, you'll walk away saying, you know what, Prince is a very talented guy, and you definitely get that in this movie. The directing here, the tone is very messy. I will definitely say that. The tone is very messy. A lot of times it goes from fun to serious, but again, it doesn't really matter to me because they didn't really focus on the story. That's not really why this movie was made. The movie was not made to really tell this story. Yes, Prince obviously wanted to tell the story of his life, but really he did this to just make a story for his album and kind of just promote his album, which we will get into. The writing here isn't bad. I definitely will say I think the writing is pretty good. It's just they don't really focus on a lot of things. There are a lot of things in the first half that they do focus on, then they just kind of go away. The second half of the movie, it kind of does change. It focuses a lot more on the music and a lot less on the story, and I didn't necessarily have a problem with it, like I said, because I didn't think the actors were all that great, and it really stopped it from being trash, because I really don't think if the movie didn't have any songs, this movie would be terrible. It really would be. But again, the thing that works for me in this movie is that you do understand why this story needed to be told. Prince felt that he needed to tell the story of his life. He wanted to show some things going on. And I do find it very interesting. A lot of the stuff that we did find, I found very interesting, especially if, you know, whether or not they actually happen. I mean, especially something that happens in the very, like, third act of the movie, which by far is my favorite part of the movie. The third act of the movie, without a doubt, is the best part of the movie. I'm really interested in seeing, did that actually happen? Did Prince just make that up? I mean, I personally think it did, because a lot of it was based on his life, but I don't really know. Was that real? Was it not? I mean, that part of the movie I think is very interesting. I definitely like seeing that, and I do think the movie does a very good job of telling the story of a man that doesn't want to become like his father, but is starting to act like his father, and how he kind of gets away from that. I thought they did a very good job with that. I definitely really did see that. You get that bad boy persona down very well, with his character. I think they did a very good job with that. I will say a lot of the line delivery in this movie is very cheesy. It is very dated at times, but it does still work. Like, a lot of it does still work. Some of it really does work. Some of it really doesn't. And a lot of the music stuff I think works very well. A lot of the more darker stuff just didn't work as well for me. Like, a lot of things going on with this family life I don't really think worked as well as it could have. I liked more of the smaller moments. Like, something that happens in the third act, I think was probably Prince's best scene, honestly. Like I said, he's not much of an actor, but you can definitely tell that he's personally gone through some pain, and he's kind of just going with it on and off camera, and that really is fantastic. Now let's get to the thing that really makes this movie. First of all, the cinematography here is fantastic. It looks fantastic. You can tell that, you know, Prince really did take his time with the cinematography. It's a gorgeous movie to look at. It really does look great, and I think they did a very good job with showing that, especially shots of, like, the kid on his motorcycle. I think there are some really incredible scenes with that, and the cinematography just looked really, really great. Now, without a doubt, though, the best thing about this movie is the music. I mean, I gotta comment the music, because the music is some of the greatest of all time. It's that simple. The music is some of the greatest of all time. It's the thing that keeps this movie from being an absolute bore, and it's just awesome. When the music is on screen, it's great. And the reason I don't have a problem with the movie focusing mainly on the music and not as much on the story is because the story, that's not what we're seeing this movie for. We're seeing this movie for Prince. We're seeing this movie to see his songs, and that's exactly what the movie did. In many ways, this movie is a concert with a story. That's exactly what it is. And I've heard many people say, oh, it's a 2-hour concert. I'd say it's more of just a narrative concert. That's what it is. It's a concert that has a story attached to it, and we're basically watching both. Like, it's kind of like watching a Broadway show, but as a movie. It's very interesting. I really did enjoy that. I think he did a very good job with that. And the songs here, you really do see Prince's talent. You see why he remains one of the, why he has been known as one of the greatest entertainers of all time. And it's really sad that he was taken from us because he really was a very entertaining, presence. You can definitely tell a lot of his songs really do shine, especially Purple Rain. Oh my god. I mean, when I first heard Purple Rain, it really did give me chills. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was an incredible song. It's an incredibly touching song, especially when it comes up in the movie. I absolutely loved everything about Purple Rain. I think it was very well handled. And also, Prince's passion for music, you can just tell his passion oozing out of him. This is just something that he was born to do. Prince is one of the people that was born to perform. He was born to get on stage, and you just see that throughout this entire movie. The passion oozing within him, I just think is just, really is evident here. But I do like that the other bands in the movie as well, because there's this other band in the movie that's kind of like a rival band called The Time, and it's kind of a fun play on kind of just like the cheesy bands of the 80s. I think they did a good job with that. I definitely enjoyed that. And the contrast between that and the Revolution, I really did love. And seeing the Revolution's journey, I really thought was interesting. It's one of the most interesting parts of the movie, is seeing them go from this small band to basically what they are known as today. I absolutely really love it. That was a very good journey. And in many ways, the movie really is how did Prince become as famous as he did. And I think the movie really does show that very well. The editing's very choppy. I'm not going to say the editing's perfect because it's definitely not perfect. It's very choppy. It's very messy. A lot of times their stories started and they don't necessarily get concluded. In fact, I can't really remember what happened in the second half of this movie. I just can't. There was a lot that was going on. I can't remember it. There is one song that's absolutely horrific. I'm going to say that right now. There's one song that's terrible. Sex Shooter by Alponia 6, Prince's girlfriend. Awful. Just awful. I don't even want to get into that. That song is horrific. It really is bad. But the other songs in the movie, all the songs that Prince sings and the Time sings are great. All the other songs are great. I don't have any problems with them. I think they're all fantastic. Sex Shooter, though, that song, it definitely deserved that Razzie. I mean, Sex Shooter got a Razzie and it definitely deserved it. It is a terrible, awful song, and it doesn't downgrade the movie, but I understand why it was in there, obviously. It just didn't really work in any way whatsoever. But, Let's Go Crazy, Purple Rain are, some of his best songs ever. Most of his best songs are in this movie, and I think they really did a good job with showing that. Not most of his best songs, but a lot of the songs he's really known for, I think are fantastic. I think they're very well done in this movie, and what I love is that they really do give all the time to these performances, and a lot of the performances were, in fact, real concert performances, and it really does make me wonder, like I said, a lot of what's going on in this movie contrasts with the performances, goes with the performances. I'm really wondering if the story were being told, what's true, what's factual, and what did Prince just dramatize. That's kind of what I want to know, because I think that's very interesting overall. I like that he did tell this story. I think overall it's a very fascinating film. I just don't really think it's really a movie when it comes to acting. This is not a movie that you see for acting. This is a movie you see for music. It's a movie you see for a good story. But it's not really a movie for acting. It's just not that kind of a movie. In fact, I wouldn't really call it necessarily a regular film. I call it more of a concert film with a story. And that's exactly what it is. I think it's a concert film with a story. The story part works to a degree, but the concert really is what we came to see. And that's exactly what I think it is. It's like when you go to a concert and there's a story attached to it. That's exactly what this is. And it feels like going to a concert. You get that feel in the movie, and because that, I really did love Purple Rain. I had a great time with it. That was a lot of fun at times, and even when I wasn't into the movie, I still was really appreciating it. I appreciate the style. I appreciate the vision. I appreciate Prince coming out and telling the story, because you can tell this was a very hard story to tell for him, definitely. I mean, obviously. So I will definitely give Purple Rain a 4.5 out of 5 or an A-. It's a very messy movie. It's not really a movie. It's more of a concert. Definitely I will say that, but Prince is a legend, definitely. If you haven't checked out his music, definitely do so. It's so sad that he was taken from us, but I think it's really good that he died, because now this generation, like my generation who doesn't know Prince as well, can get exposed to his music. They'll start listening to it more. They'll start enjoying more of it. I mean, I've heard some of Prince's songs, but never like that, I've never really been like, oh my god, Prince is incredible. But after this, and yes, Prince is incredible, and I love all of his music, especially Purple Rain, just an incredible song overall. all. I mean, that song is 8 minutes, and 4 minutes of it is a guitar solo. I mean, that song is just awesome. I love everything about it. The production that Prince has, just the presence that he had, really is, it's sad that he's definitely is gonna be missed. You can tell he's gonna be missed. I think a lot of people are gonna go back and watch this movie. Is it cheesy? Yes, there is a lot of cheesy moments in this movie. Like, for example, some of the abuse scenes, like I said, a lot of the dark things don't really work as well. More of the lighter moments in this movie, I think, work very well. This is actually this kind of this cute scene between the two main love interests. I think that works very well. But overall, guys, if you've seen this movie, let me know what you thought of it. What do you think of Prince in general? I really am a fan of his music now. I definitely will be listening to more of his music. What sucks is I have Apple Music, and I listen to a lot of the music from that. Unfortunately, they don't really have any of Prince's music on there. I don't know if they're gonna get it, but right now they have like no music from him. All the music they have are like these 2 albums that no one really talks about. So all his good songs I have to buy, and I don't want to do that because 1, I don't have the money. 2, it's just more convenient to me for me to just get it off Apple Music and then listen to it on my phone. And unfortunately, I can't do that. And yes, this is just kind of a low-key rant right now, but anyways, guys, let me know what you guys saw Purple Rain if you have seen it. So sad that Prince died. He definitely will be missed after this movie. I really do wish I would have gotten exposed to Prince more, when I was younger. I really do wish I listened to more of his music. I think he's a very talented artist, and like I said, he definitely will be missed. But overall, guys, my review, Purple Rain. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys saw this movie, have seen it. What do you think of Prince's music in general? Are you a fan of Prince? Are you not a fan of Prince? And I will see you guys in my next video, which will be for the Americans. I know you guys have been waiting for that, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.